he's like using everything around his kit as well. It's a pretty big setup, and he's hitting everything perfectly. So someone actually requested that I take a look at this a very long time ago, and I can't find the comment. So if it was you, I'm very sorry. But thank you for recommending it anyway, because this video I've actually never seen before. So we're taking a look at COOP3RDRUMM3R's cover of Cinema by Skrillex. However, I should say the Benassi remix of that song. However, the interesting thing about this cover is that COOP3RDRUMM3R is blindfolded. So before we get into the video, let's just talk about that for a second. May as well discuss it, seeing as though it is the main talking point of this video. So in theory, playing blindfolded shouldn't be that difficult, because you want to get to a point with your drums anyway where you're not thinking about where stuff is. You should know from muscle memory where things are. However, when you actually try and do it, it is difficult. So I don't want you to think for a second that I'm saying this isn't impressive at all, because it is. It's very impressive. Well, I haven't watched it yet, but I presume it's very impressive. And it's actually something that I would probably recommend you try. Not necessarily blindfolded, but just while you're playing, if maybe you do what I do, and that after you've practiced the boring stuff and you think, I just want to play along to some music, you stick a playlist on or an album, whatever you do. And if a song comes on where you know it really well and you don't have to think about the parts of the song, you just know the song, close your eyes. Play the song with your eyes closed, or go the extra mile and put a blindfold on if, I don't know, if you've got one nearby. I don't know what you're into. But yeah, just close your eyes while you're playing and just see how well you are in sync with your drum set. It's just an interesting little challenge. So yeah, let me know if you try that in the comments below, if you think it's a good idea or not. I think it's a good idea, and I would recommend you try it. And it's actually quite fun. It's yeah, it's a good kind of weird feeling, especially if you pull off something fairly difficult without needing to look while you're doing it. It can be a very rewarding feeling. So with that being said, let's get into the video. Skrillex, Benassi, Cinema, and COOP3RDRUMM3R, blindfolded. COOP3RDRUMM3R. Sorry, couldn't resist. Is there meant to be no audio? Okay, here we go. I thought something had gone horribly wrong. Okay, let's talk about that. That was a very, very interesting groove. To play blindfolded, to cross your arms over. So he plays traditional right-handed drummer, plays, you know, crossed. But then to open your body up and play like floor tom hi-hat rhythms while blindfolded, yeah, that's not going to be easy. I've never tried it personally, literally blindfolded. Maybe I've tried it with my eyes closed. I don't know. Not from memory. I've never done anything like that. So yeah, that's very impressive. And now these really nice doubles as well on the hi-hat and the ride. Just right, left stuff. But it sounds so cool, especially with this kind of music. Yeah, let's keep going. That was cool. Double time doubles. Oh. this song just kind of goes on and on and on and on. He's playing this really cleanly. That was cool. So he's clearly very in sync with his drum kit because, yeah, he's blindfolded and he's not had a single, you know, hitting the rim instead of the skin. He's not dropped a stick. He's not missed a cymbal. He's playing this incredible. He may as well, you know, he's playing as if he doesn't have a blindfold on, which is very impressive. I'm going to talk about his posture in a minute. His doubles technique is perfect. Using his wrist and his fingers to maintain ultimate stick control. Silky smooth, crystal clean. I know that expression's meant to be crystal clear, but you just forget it. He's like using everything around his kit as well. It's a pretty big setup and he's hitting everything perfectly. Let's use this camera angle and just talk about his posture and how he's sat and how he's set up. So COOP3RDRUMM3R is very tall, right? I believe he's at least 6 foot, 6'1", maybe. I don't know. He's a very tall guy. You can tell just by looking at him, you know, he's very tall, very skinny. He's what we would call in the UK, he's lanky. You can Google that. It's not meant as an insult. But yeah, his knees are higher than his snare and his floor tom, which is crazy. It's not something, I can't think of a single other drummer off the top of my head who has, you know, who has their snare so low, especially when they are such a tall person. I mean, Danny Carey's is close. Danny's is kind of like in line. But yeah, COOP3RDRUMM3R, you can see as well his left hand when he plays the snare is resting kind of where his crotch is, and he's very close to punching himself in an area that you don't want to get punched. But he's making it work, and yeah, I mean, I guess if you are as tall as that, I mean, I don't have that struggle. I'm like 5'8" or something like that. I'm not very tall at all. But yeah, it's an interesting setup. It's not something I'd recommend, but not speaking, I can't speak on his behalf. I can't speak on behalf of tall people, so maybe you have to play like this. I don't know, but considering that the toms are quite high up, well, the rack toms are quite high up anyway, the cymbals are fairly high, it does seem interesting to me that he has his snare and his floor tom that low. But this video is also very old, so maybe he's changed since then. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch one of his newer videos after this, and if this comment has become irrelevant, I'll remove it from the video. Or maybe I'll forget and you're watching this and you're not meant to be. Who knows? But let's keep going. Even when his hand's resting. And when he plays rolls on the snare, he has to have both of his hands like in between his legs. Love this groove, love it. This is one of those grooves I could just listen to all day and not get bored of it. Really tastefully written, suits the music. Ooh. Big fan of that. I guess that's the end of the song. I'm just going to pause it there. So the rest of this video is just Cooper addressing the camera and talking about stuff. I don't, there's no point in me reacting to that. But if you want to watch the rest of what he had to say, then I will of course leave the original video linked in the description, and you can probably click up here somewhere to go straight to it as well. But yeah, I had a quick look at the comments for this, and there are some people saying he's probably, he can see through that blindfold, blah, 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 blah. I honestly don't think he can see through the blindfold. If you're going to do a challenge like this, you want to do it sincerely, because then not only is it a challenge that you're proving to the world, but it's a challenge that you're proving to yourself. And while playing blindfolded, as I have kind of suggested at various points in this video, is not the most challenging thing in the world that you can do while you're playing drums, it is still more difficult than you would think, and it's something that maybe you should even try and get good at. You don't literally have to blindfold yourself, but just closing your eyes and really getting, in sync, becoming one with your instrument, and you'll probably get more out of it you will get more out of it if you're, completely comfortable with how you're playing, and you don't need to think about like, oh, where's my china and where's that splash? Am I going to accidentally hit the ride bell when I'm going for a crash or something like that? So it's actually a worthwhile thing to do, and yeah, this was a very cool cover. I think Cooper's come a long way drumming wise since he uploaded this, but as I said, this is 8 years old. It'd be really interesting to see him revisit this and do it again, because he's a much better drummer than I think this video showcases. But as I said, 8 years ago, the progress you can make in 6 months is crazy. I mean, the progress someone makes in 8 years is just incomparable. So yeah, really enjoyed that. Thanks to the person who recommended I check it out. If you have a video of yourself that you want me to react to, then leave a comment down below and maybe I'll get around to it. If you want me to react to your favorite drummers, then also leave them in the comment section and I'll probably get around to them eventually. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. I hope you guys all enjoyed, and yeah, see you on the next one.